If you start something, you most likely will be alone and you most likely have to reset your identity because nobody cares what you did before. Because even with 0 followers, I personally would be ruthless about who I personally give my energy to. Who speaks into your mind in the rebuilding phase shapes your future. Even one aligned person is better than 10 cheerleaders with no vision. In negative times, I earned the most. Focus, focus, focus. You can't afford not being focused. You cannot afford any kind of distraction. Let's say I lost it all. The money, the followers, the network, everything what I earned in the last couple of years, and I had to start from zero, completely from scratch with nothing but my mindset. Here's exactly what I would focus on, and that's the topic of today's episode, how I start from zero today. With that being said, welcome to another episode of the Unbreakable Mind podcast, your podcast for faith, sales, personal development, and many more topics. My name is Jonathan, and this topic is really, really interesting for me because I think many people can relate to the fear of losing something, right? The fear of losing something in a relationship, of losing something in sports, in school, in a job, or in a business, or in life completely, like in general. I think many can relate. And that's why I thought this topic is very interesting to speak about today. I mean, I can 100% relate to this topic a lot. If it was in sports, I played football for a very long time. There's always the fear, like the little fear of, hey, what's happening when I'm getting injured? What's happening if there's coming another coach that doesn't like my playing style? What's happening when I'm losing the sports, right? And I did lose the sport when I was 19. But I got over it, right? And let's be honest, in life, some things happen that are unexpected. But to be honest, in life in general, it's all about growing. It's all about growing as an individual. And there are many things that you can actually focus on. So you don't really have to worry about if, let's say, the money is going to zero, right? If you're, let's say, going bankrupt, your business is not going well anymore. If you actually went through all these things, you believe in yourself so much that you can always rebuild. And that's why I want to talk about it today. I've prepared, I think, 6 topics, like 6 different points, let's say, that are, in my opinion, very, very powerful. So let's get started. Let's start right into it. I'm super excited. Let's do it. So point number 1 that I would focus on if I had to start from zero today is detaching my worth from my results. And I think this is another thing that many people can relate when it comes to results, because the first thing I would do in general is reset my identity, not based on, what I have achieved or whatever, what I have earned, but on who I am becoming. Because the thing is, if you're starting from scratch, if you're deciding today to make something happen, because this podcast can also be for somebody that is listening right now and you want to build yourself up right now. You maybe haven't done any business yet, which is fine. Maybe you have finished some part of your life and now you want to continue on the next book, on the next chapter, right? But in general, you have to understand, if you start something, you most likely will be alone and you most likely have to reset your identity because nobody cares what you did before. Nobody. Let's say if you're quitting your job out of own will, or maybe your boss didn't like you anymore, in the new company, most likely the people will not care about what you have achieved in the past. You have to earn it again. And the problem is, for many people, it doesn't matter in what occupation, that they are basing their identity, like their self-worth, on what they're achieving. But in many businesses, let's say, for example, in investing and trading, right? I have started in this occupation, I think like almost 5 years ago, right? I started trading. I thought it was really interesting until today, next to my other things that I'm doing. It's still actually one of the greatest parts of my life, to be honest. Let me tell you one thing on the financial markets. If you are basing your identity based on your results, you will have a problem, because in the beginning you will make a lot of mistakes when it comes to investing and trading in general. I think that's the greatest example. Also when it comes to a business, let's say, you will make so many mistakes and you will fall so many times on the ground. You will have setbacks in sports as well. You will have so many setbacks. And every time when you have a setback or you failed or you didn't achieve your goal, every time when you think, hey, I'm not good enough because I haven't achieved my goal, well, you will have a problem, right? Because this is part of it. Like failing is part of our life. Most people, spiral kind of because they tie their self-worth to, let's say, income or a status or something like that. But the most important thing is identity over outcome. Identity over outcome. So again, what I said in the beginning, rather focus on who you are when things are quiet rather than when they are noisy, because bringing God in there is also, having faith not just in yourself, but also in something else. For me, it's God. For me, it's Jesus, right? I do believe. And you have to understand that God's plan is never shaken by any numbers. God's plan is never shaken by your numbers that you're generating in your business. And I think the key phrase to this point is that you never really start from zero, right? Even that I said, hey, what would I do when I start from scratch, from zero? You never start from zero. You're starting from experience. You maybe don't have money, you maybe don't have status, but you have experience because you went already through something. So failure, of course, in the beginning is always something that is painful, but it gives you also experience and shows you, hey, what did you do wrong? Where could you have been, doing better? And this is experience. Experience is worth way, way more than your current status or your current income that you have. But let's go to the next point. The next point, in my opinion, is essential if you want to become successful. Because yes, we spoke about focusing on your identity, focusing on yourself. But trust me, becoming successful in a team long term is also very important. And there it's important to audit your inner circle early. Right? Audit your inner circle early, right? Because even with 0 followers, I personally would be ruthless about who I personally give my energy to. Because especially in times where I'm on the ground, I need people that lift me up. I need people that have a great and a positive energy, that are positive minded, that encourage me to do better. This is so, so important. Because who speaks into your mind in the rebuilding phase, okay, shapes your future. Again, who speaks into your mind in the rebuilding phase shapes your future. So let's say, for example, you started a business, you went completely out of your circle, right, of your friendship group, which is fine, right? You went out of your friendship group because you recognized that you have to be in different rooms in order to grow. Let's say now you lost that all. You lost your network, you lost your the group of people that you worked with. Doesn't matter why. The biggest issue or the biggest mistake that you could do is going back to your old circle just because you don't have your new circle anymore. Rather focus on yourself, be very, very cautious with your inner circle and build yourself up, and only let people in your circle that are positive minded. So again, distance yourself from any dream killers and comfort pushers that you have, right? These people that encourage you to go out in the club even though you don't have the money, go out eating all the time, spending money rather than investing money. These people, they are the biggest killer when you're in your rebuild phase. Even one aligned person is better than 10 cheerleaders with no vision. I want to say that again. Even one aligned person is better than 10 cheerleaders with no vision. And I can tell you, I was in groups that definitely pushed me out of my goals. For example, the best example in this case is when I finished football, or I was injured. I decided to rather focus on the last month of my school, which is good because I finished it. But then I didn't have my safe spot anymore. I didn't have football anymore, and I finished school and I didn't know where to go. So what I did, I started to work in a bar, which is completely fine. I met a lot of amazing people. I had fun, but I saw that, working all the time, for not even minimum wage and spending it all in, you know, in the clubs and everything on the weekend, drinking a lot. That just, it felt such a short time, but it was actually a pretty long time, I think almost a year, where I kind of went into circles and I didn't really develop at all. And then I had this I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired moment where I completely went alone to Canada, for example, where I grew so much as an individual in such a short period of time. I think I was there for 7-8 months. These circumstances definitely slowed me down, but it's part of my story as well, right? So I had to take the decision to go out. I had to take the balls, right? I had to take the balls in my hand and take a decision to change something. And you can always take the decision. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter how long you are in a wrong circle. You can always take the bold decision today. It's up on you. Point number 3 is increasing your own value. Increasing your own value. Because skills pay bills, identity builds legacy. This is such an important thing. Skills pay bills, identity builds legacy. So focus in general on skills that compound. So for example, communication, discipline, decision making, leadership, right? These kind of skills are very important for the long run. Doesn't matter if you are self-employed, if you want to build up a company, if you want to go up in corporate ladder. Being a good communicator, being disciplined, having a good sense of decision making, being, you know, good in leadership, leading people is so essential. It's so essential, and it will bring you so far. And these skills, they compound, right? You have heard most likely of compound interest, where we invest and then the money is working for us. The same thing is when we have skills that we invest into that compound as well. You should invest your time into becoming the person who can attract wealth, impact, and freedom. I always say act as if the person that you want to become. If you don't act like the person that you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, how can you attract the results in your current life, right? So let's say you want to become a millionaire. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that a millionaire is wearing Louis Vuitton, Prada, whatever. As a matter of fact, most millionaires don't wear these things, right? Because they're more like status symbols. I'm not saying that these things are bad, but rather focus on how you talk, how you communicate, how you dress. Again, dressing doesn't mean you have to go to Louis Vuitton, but dress nice, have a good haircut, use skincare, or have a skincare routine. I don't know, whatever you feel like is serving you, you know, to actually act as if the person that you want to become is great. Focus on education, focus on fitness, routines. It all stacks up. It all stacks up like a stack of cards. Everything is so important, everything together. You should focus on all areas of life together. Obviously, don't overwhelm yourself, but it's not just focusing on one thing. You shouldn't just focus on one skill. Focus on the whole. To be honest, you don't need money to become more valuable, right? Money is not everything. It's just intention and execution. Money will follow. Invest in skills. If you have the skills, money will follow. Point number 4, fall in love with obsession again. Honestly, I personally would choose one thing and just simply go all in, even when it's not perfect. Because many people try to do so many things at the same time. They're trying to build 5 businesses up at the same time. They do high ticket sales, drop shipping, whatever business models they are, consulting, sales, whatever. They do so much at the same time, but they're always average. Try to become very, very good in one occupation, go all in. And if you're good in it, maybe later you can, of course, invest your time in other things. But distraction in general is really the devil in disguise for people starting over. Focus on you building yourself up again, because that's the thing of the rebuilding phase. Focus, focus, focus. You can't afford not being focused. You cannot afford any kind of distraction. Doesn't matter if it is a girlfriend, and this is maybe hard, or if it's a boyfriend, it's maybe hard. But if you're in a rebuilding phase, yes, a girlfriend or a boyfriend can help, a partner can help. But guys, trust me, it's better to rebuild yourself up and then find the person that you need in your life. Because most of the time, if we're in a rebuilding phase, we don't really have the time to give our partners what they actually deserve. If you have a partner right now, and if the partner is good, if you think the partner can help and lift you up, great. Stick to it, right? I'm not saying to cut everybody off, but if the partner is a distraction, doesn't matter if it's a friend, if it's a partner, doesn't matter, if the person is holding you up from being all in what you want to do, you have to think about cutting this person out of your life. It's very, very hard, but it is the truth, because focus beats talent. This is an important reminder. Focus beats talent. You don't need to be the most talented person. You need to be the most focused and disciplined one. And many people also have problems with clarity, me including in the past. But guys, clarity doesn't come from overthinking, sitting next to your desk, sitting in front of your computer, your notebook, writing down all the time, thinking about the next steps. Clarity actually comes from doing, not overthinking. You need to come into action. My mentor once told me, if you're actually doing something, you don't thinking about the negative situation, because you have to do. You're too busy with your work to actually think about the negative results that you have right now, the negative circumstances that you have right now. And for me, it was the same. I started my business. I had a lot of struggles in the beginning. I had some success. Everything fall off again. I had to rebuild. I had to rebuild again. I had to rebuild again. I lost people. People betrayed me. People showed different faces after they didn't get what they wanted. So many things, guys. But the thing is, all the time when I was locked in, I didn't even think about it. And the skills that I have right now, I didn't build them in public. I built them when I was alone, when nobody was with me, when I lost something. In negative times, I earned the most skill-wise. Point number 5, rebuild your discipline muscle fast. Because I tell you one thing, motivation won't be there all the time. I would rather rely on discipline and spiritual alignment, trust and faith. Because what helped me there, for example, or what is helping in general, is daily wins, right? You don't need to focus, we spoke about it last week, you don't need to focus on getting all in and getting everything at once. No, daily wins, like the 1% method, being better every day, step by step with small little steps, is way better than chasing peaks all the time. My mindset back then was like, hey, routines are restricting me from specific things. No, that's the wrong mindset. You have to switch that. Routines aren't restrictive. They are empowering, because they're bringing you closer to where you want to go. And if you actually combine faith, the trust, and plus systems to keep momentum, that is the game changer. Again, you have to focus on having faith in yourself, in God, in your skills, and where you want to go. Plus, you combine it with systems where you have actionable steps that bring you closer to your goal. Because of course, only faith will not help you. You need a system, you need steps, actionable steps that bring you closer to the person that you want to become, to the results that you want to become, so you keep creating momentum. Whatever it is, if it's 5 to 10 minutes of coming closer to God, meditating, going to the gym, reading, whatever it is, stick to it. It's so, so, so important. And last but not least, the last point, the 6th point actually, is speak the future out loud. Guys, so, so important. I personally, again, if I would start from scratch, I would talk like it's already done. Even if my bank account says 0, I would talk like everything is already done. What you should do is, you should use affirmations, you should have a vision statement, you should have faith declarations, right? For every day. It's so important. You can have, for example, a vision board in front of you. You have a vision statement, which I have here next to me right now. If you are interested in how to create your vision statement, I can also do a podcast episode there, or just simply, put it in the comment section if you would like to have something like that, because it does help me to remind myself who I want to become, who I will become, and what kind of person I am, what kind of results I'm having into my life. And I'm speaking it out loud because I'm reading it every time, every day to myself. I'm reading it out loud because what you speak is a preview of what you're building. So important. Like, if you don't speak it out loud yourself, well, how can you actually make it happen in the real world? It happens here. You create your vision inside here. Then you have to write it down and you have to read it out to yourself every day. And the best case scenario, which I actually right now don't have because I don't have a phone case, but usually I like a vision card, like a goal card. Bob Proctor always spoke about it. It's great if you have something that is always with you. So you just have it in your phone case. Again, I don't have a phone case right now. And every time when you look on your phone, on the backside of your phone, you see your goals. That could be a great thing, like something like a goal card. Trust me, when it comes to this, be a little bit delusional, right? Be delusional in the right direction. right? That's so important. Don't be, I also know people that are too much in their head. They're too much in the future, that are too much in the past. They are dreaming too much. I'm not saying dreaming is bad, but you also have to be a little bit in the real world, right? So be delusional in the right direction, and it will change completely your life. So when it comes to this point, create a vision statement. Maybe let's do one thing. That's actually one thing that you can do easily. A few things. Number one, write down 3 adjectives that people would describe you right now, right? Whatever it is, use 3 adjectives that directly come into your mind. You can also ask some of your friends to describe you with 3 words, write them down. And then in the next step, write down 3 words, 3 adjectives that you would like people to describe you in 1 year. And then you know what you have to work on. Very, very important. And when it comes to affirmations, when it comes to vision statement, Bob Proctor always said, you can do it like this. You can write down the things that you want to have in present tense. So you say, I'm happy and grateful now that I earn $1 million. I am happy and grateful now that I have a healthy family. I am happy and grateful now that I live in my dream apartment in whatever, Dubai, Miami, or Cyprus, wherever you want to live. I am happy and grateful now that I have the greatest physique with whatever, 12% body fat. You get my point, right? Write it down in present tense, do like a shopping list, and read that to yourself every day. And trust me, in the next days and weeks, there will be a positive change. And you can text me and tell me if it works, right? But again, to wrap this up, starting over is never a failure. It's a feedback, it's focus. If you're in a rebuild phase right now, you're not alone, but you do have a choice to get up again. So get up. I believe in you. I have trust in you, and you should have trust in yourself. With that being said, guys, much love, and we see each other in the next episode, and I hope you got a lot of value out of it. Over and out, GC. See you next week. Bye.